Hello everybody, welcome to this video. So this is a 1 minute clip of Donald going over a few issues in this recent Board of Peace talk with Netanyahu, and it's interesting in a few ways. So we're going to start with there's 3 to 4 clips back to back, and I'll let you see what the theme is, and then I'll speak about it quickly.
And let's call it eternal peace in the Middle East. This is eternity. This is for forever, and maybe for eternity. Wouldn't that be nice? Economically, I recognize the eternal capital of Israel.
Okay, so he keeps conflating the current Israel with the eternal kingdom, right? And we can see later, like I do have clips of Netanyahu, but they irk me and they are so gross. What he's attempting to do, like pulling on this old Christian man's ignorance and stuff, and just Bible believers' ignorance overall. But yeah, that's a different topic. But yeah, so we're talking about he says eternal, eternal, always eternal, right? So the Millennium Kingdom is described in Revelations, and it's a literal 1,000 year reign of Jesus Christ on earth after the tribulation and the second coming of Christ. Okay? So it describes Christ's 1,000 year reign with the saints. Um, the nature of it under Christ's rule is done in Isaiah. Um, Final establishment of God's reign with Jerusalem as a center of worship and a global acknowledgement of his rule. Okay, so you see what Trump is conflating the modern day Israel with a future where people from all nations will come to Jerusalem to learn God's ways. Okay, so this is when the second coming of Jesus Christ happens. Okay, so the way that Trump is acting right now is fantastic and excellent if it wasn't with mammon and if it was with the actual um and so even then it's not even eternal. First is the Millennium Kingdom, and then later, as we can see here, New Jerusalem is described as the bride of the Lamb, the dwelling place of God and the believers. New Jerusalem is in Revelations 3 and 21. It's a city that is descends from heaven to a new earth after a new heaven and earth are established after the judgment day. Okay, at the culmination of time, the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of the city, indicating that they will be the source of its light and the focus of its inhabitants, right? So that's the eternal city. What we have now is nothing to do with eternity and the eternal city. It will majority be destroyed, and Jesus will come down, come back, and save it essentially. We can see here the concept of Jesus returning to kill enemies of Israel is described in Old Testament prophets like Zechariah, Ezekiel, and Revelation, which speak of Jesus as a warrior king returning to judge and establish his kingdom. Passages such as Revelations 19:11-6 depict Jesus on a white horse, conquering nations and judging those who oppose him. Zechariah described the Lord as a warrior, and this is what the Jews got confused about. Because of these packages, that's the Jesus they were waiting for, but instead, or the Messiah they were waiting for, instead they got the suffering servant that we all know about, who died, resurrected, and will be back as the warrior, okay? But the Jews aren't supposed to be warriors now, kind of imitating Messiah to create an eternal kingdom now. It's not what's going to be done. Okay. So here, Zechariah 12. This passage describes the Lord destroying the nations gathered against Jerusalem, saying they will harm themselves in the attempt. Uh, the Lord is depicted as a protective shield of his people, and they will destroy their enemies, drinking the blood like wine. Okay, interesting. We'll have to read that specifically. This prophecy details a future battle where God defeats the foreign king Gog and his army who attacks Israel. That's Gog and Magog. Okay, Revelations. This passage portrays Jesus' second coming as a warrior, returning to conquer and judge the nations. He's described as a white horse, blah, blah, blah. Jesus speaks of seeing the Son of Man coming on the clouds with power and great glory. That's literally what the Jews killed Jesus for, is he quoted Daniel there. Um, there is a lot more to be said about this. There actually is going to be a whole job created for many years of just cleaning up all the corpses from Jesus killing all these people with the armies. So yeah, so that's going to happen, and so this feeds into the next point. So this feeds into we're going to skip the next bit I had, but look, this feeds into this. Okay. So a part of this New Deal, this great peace board or whatever is these are the people that are involved.
We have four countries, and I tell you, the four
Oh, I got to make use. I'm gonna make this small again. One sec. That's enough. Okay, so four countries. Four countries are involved because even in the UN, when Netanyahu was giving a speech, that's why they've done this press conference, because in the UN, everyone just walked out. All the countries recognizing Palestine as a sovereign nation, and they don't like what Israel is doing, and so this is what, you basically had only the US that stayed there. So
we have four countries, and I tell you, the four countries that went in. I mean, I think this is something that gets done when you have virtually every country, and these are
you see, so there is only four countries, and from what they said in the meeting, I'm suspecting the countries are Israel, the US, Qatar, and Indonesia. From those are the only ones that he mentioned, and he does say four, and that does equal four, and that would kind of make sense. Nobody else is interested in this Palestinian thing. In this They are interested in the Palestinian thing, them being a sovereign state. They're not interested in Israel genociding them, taking them over, and doing whatever they need to do. So, and that's funny. Then he has to like gaslight himself, saying virtually every country. And this is the part.
powerful countries that have a lot of money, and the money can make things happen. And
Again,
let's call
this
it.
is Trump trusting in mammon. It's not Trump trusting in God at all. Mammon is you can't serve God and Mammon because you'll end up hating one and loving the other. So this is just he's signaling that he's serving Mammon here, and it just makes total sense. Obviously, he's saying that this is the eternal kingdom. He's saying, and he's loving Israel as it is now, as if it was this millennial, as if it was this eternal Jerusalem, which will come at the second coming. And so already we can see on the international stage, everyone is hating Israel in the last like 2 years, in the last few months. Really, there's like one stronghold left in the United States, and slowly the United States is turning Islam, UK and Europe is turning Islam. Like soon, it's going to be even more aggressive, the anti-Israel. Um, so yeah, he's serving Mammon. He's confusing Millennial Kingdom with the current kingdom. And so yeah, let's have a look at what he's saying about the board. This is our last point we're going to talk about, which is basically, well, we'll watch the clip first, and I'll show you.
Ensure the success of this effort, my plan calls for the creation of a new international oversight body, the Board of Peace, we call it, the Board of Peace. That didn't work out. It was the opposite of peace.
Oh yeah, that was just a joke. Um, anyway, yeah, the Board of Peace, that's separate. This is the bit. So the opposite of peace, he's talking about the previous attacks they've done in Gaza, where he's going to explain it now. They pulled away, they let them have it. That means that um, they were in Gaza or whatever. They pulled away and they made peace with the Palestinian Authority, with Gaza and all that. And yeah,
They pulled away, they let them have it, and I never forgot that because I said, that doesn't sound like a good deal to me. As a real estate person, I mean, they gave up the ocean, right? Ron, they gave up the ocean. They said, who would do this deal? We have
okay, so even he is questioning like who in their right mind would allow that property there connecting the ocean for trade, for whatever, for real estate, connecting the ocean. Why would Israel? He's even questioning himself. He gets it. Israel let them take it, let them build up their forces, funded them to build up their forces so that they could have an international reason to not only take it again and to fight them, right, but basically to kill them because they want to integrate that area into Israel. But if they were to integrate that area into Israel and they were to make all these Palestinians citizens, then the ethno state would be like 50-50 and it wouldn't be 80-20. And so they needed a reason. Okay, how can we kill these people or get rid of them in some way so that when we do integrate them into this greater Israel that we would desire, um, that they conform to our ethnostate ideology, and there's some respectable elements to it. You kind of get it, but this is not. This is what happens when you have a literal 2,000-year-old concluded religion that people are hanging on to like a freaking a parasite is hangs on to a freaking host body, like my goodness me. Anyway, so yeah, that's all the bits I wanted to talk about. Uh, yeah. Oh, ignore that. Where is the guy? I just deleted Google Chrome. Look at my face. Look how big. Hello. Okay, bye bye.